All right, everybody, here we are with a game. We got the Genestealer Cult going up against the Tau Empire, both brand new codexes. Tabletop Life. My name is Price, going to be playing against Colin. We're going to go through the army list real quick. If you can tell here, we've got our little brood coven that's going to be leading the charge of Patriarch. He's our Warlord, followed up with a Magus and a Primus. We also got the Iconward behind those guys. We did spend the command point to give extra Warlord traits, so he's going to get the 9-inch aura, and then we've got the fallback from if he gets declared as a charge. Then our Patriarch, he is going to have the +1 attack, +1 toughness. Then moving over to our troops, we've got 1 unit of rock saws here, 10 guys, 4 rock saws. We've got a 5-man squad of regular acolytes. These guys have the Excavate upgrade, so they can pick a piece of terrain and it loses its light cover, heavy cover. These guys have got the ability to, we'll come back to them in a minute. These guys are just regular. Got a unit with 5 hand flamers to try and pull off the crossfire special rule, just come in and be a harassment unit. Those are all the troops. Then we got, moving to elites, we've got the Nexus, we've got an Abominant, we've got the Sniper, the Sanctus with the upgraded Relic sniper rifle, we've got the Biomorph with the Wormtooth rounds, and then we've got this Clamavis. He's actually standing in for the Biophagus because that guy wasn't painted. Sorry for some of the unfinished bases. Then we've got a unit of 8 Aberrants with a Sergeant there. Everybody's got the industrial weapons. We got a unit of 10 hybrid metamorphs. These guys have the 3d6 charge. When they come in from reserve, drop the lowest. We got a unit of pure strain Genestealers. These guys have the ability to, I can redeploy them either into reserve or they get the pregame move, so we've upgraded them. And then we got a single truck, just bone stock. We got 2 Goliath rock grinders. They're going to have the heavy seismic cannons. And then we've got 1 Ridge Runner, and I've given him the missile launcher.
Hey, this is Colin. On my end, my list is slightly simpler than Price's. We have Cold Star Commander. Excuse all the guns on the suits. I haven't ripped them off yet. But he's carrying around a bunch of burst cannons, the cool new flamer. We have bodyguards standing behind him with airbursts. In front of them, we have 5 crisis suits. They're going to be missiles plasma. 2 units of 3 stealth suits, and 30 crude that are going to be hanging out as our troops. In the back, we've got a rank of vehicles. 2 Devilfish, Long Strike, who'll be using a railgun. Again, excuse all the guns. And 2 Skyrays, all with SMS. And lastly, we have 2 units of 2 Piranhas with fusion. We have an Ethereal with 2 marker drones. And off camera, we have 3 units of 4 crude hounds.
All right, here we are. We rolled up number 32, Death and Zeal. As you can see, this is opposing corners deployment. So we've got the table set up over here where a couple of big ruins. We're using some of the Warzone terrain format. These are large ruins. We've got some containers here, a couple of craters in the middle. So here's a good overview of the table. And then coming back to the mission, this is a take and hold, so control 1 or more, 5 points or 4 points, control 2 or more, that's 8 points, control more than your opponent's 12. And then secondaries, I took Bring It Down, Retrieve Nachman's Data, and Psychic Interrogation. Colin took Assassinate. I have 9 characters, I don't see why. Engage on all fronts, and then one of the Tau specific ones, ATR. And what's that called, Colin?
Aerospace Targeting Relays?
Aerospace Targeting Relays. So we're going to see what that does. We'll come back after we pick sides and attacker defender, deploy armies. All right, we rolled off to see who was the attacker defender. It looks like the Tau are the defenders. They deployed first. And so they've deployed over here in the corner. You can see the Sky Ray. You can see Devilfish with some crude loaded up in there. We got stealth teams back here getting ready for some pregame moves. The other Sky Ray here, got a whole bunch of crew holding down the back line. The Ethereal with the drone, everybody's within 6 inches of the bodyguards. Got the Crisis Suit team here, the Commander. These Fire Warriors down here are actually the Crew Hounds. We're just standing in while those guys are getting painted. We got Kroot and a Devilfish over here with another stealth team. And then there's Longstrike hanging out, getting ready to try to get some position on the Genestealer Cult. Now, we got a couple of blips down here, one here and one here, just in case we get that first turn. Maybe those Pure Strains can get a nice turn 1 charge. We got the Sanctus up here with the sniper rifle hanging out, taking advantage of his ability of not being shot. Maybe he can bait the Tau to come in a little closer. Then over here, we've got the Aberrants and the Abominant loaded up in this truck. Then we've got the Ridge Runner getting ready, kind of eyeing that objective over there. Back here, the hodgepodge of characters, and then the 2 Rock Grinders, and I got a 5-man unit of dudes hanging out inside this Rock Grinder, so we can retrieve some Knockman's data on turn 1. So here we are. We're going to roll off to see who goes first. We'll come back at the middle of 1. All right, here we are. We just finished up the psychic phase of the Genestealer Cult. We won the roll to go first. As you can see, this ambush marker is gone. The other ambush marker is gone here. So I'd upgraded the Pure Strain Genestealers with the ability to get that pregame move. And then the 10-man Acolyte squad with the Rock Sauce that I had deployed, those guys had the ability to go back into reserve. And I'm trying to layer my assaults on Colin's Tau turn after turn. So I didn't want to be exposed out here in the open. So what we did was we pregame moved this Ridge Runner up here to try to get line of sight on some of those Tau units back there. However, we've got these bodyguards, and they're protecting all these characters. So the Ethereal's protected, the Commander's protected, so not much I can do back there. However, maybe I can pick off some of his little units or take some wounds off some of these Devilfish. And because Longstrike, we're currently playing Longstrike is protected by the bodyguards. We know this rule may or may not change in the future. We're playing it rules as written, so we're just going to kind of go with that. So anyway, I moved up, and then because I'm Twisted Helix, I got to move 15 inches, really got around the corner on those guys. Over here, the Aberrants moved up in this truck just to lay down a little covering fire. The Sanctus, he's hanging out back here. These guys got out. This is a 5-man squad. They're retrieving Knockman data. All the characters kind of stayed here. Now, the Nexus used his ability to pick this unit to give a crossfire token to. I've got plenty of guns over here between this Rock Grinder and this Rock Grinder. I'm going to try and see if I can pick off this Devilfish. And then I've got the Pure Strains lined up over here to try and polish off either these Kroot, if I can kill it, or I can finish it off with the Genestealers and possibly keep him from getting on this objective based upon how I actually do my models. Now, a couple things. I moved the Genestealers with rapid advance, so they normally move 8. Twisted Helix, they moved 9, and then I got an extra 6 inches, so I moved them 15, got them all the way to here. I cast Might from Beyond, but since they're so far up, I used the Gestalt Consciousness. This stratagem here allows me to cast a power anywhere on the table as long as it's a blessing. So, very good combination here. These guys are coming in with Strength 5, Power Swords, and they're going to have 5 attacks each on the charge. So we're going to see if we can kill some stuff, and we'll move on to Genestealer Cult shooting and then assault. All right, at the end of Genestealer Cult shooting, we had this crossfire marker here from the Nexus. We had both this guy and this guy shot all their guns down here, kind of whiff city, took 4 wounds off of this guy. Genestealer's going to have to go in and clean it up. Then over here, the Sanctus, he popped off at this squad. It was a 4-man Kroot squad, Crew Hounds. I just want to kind of deny some of his easy engage points and keep him a little further away from this objective here in the center. So shot, put a crossfire token here, and then this Goliath truck shot all of his guns here and killed these guys. And then this dude over here, he shot all of his guns. He's got the missile launcher and twin stubbers at that stealth team. Killed one guy, and I think maybe did a wound on another guy, or maybe not. But going into the assault phase, Genestealers are going to come, or Pure Strains coming in here on this Devilfish and see if we can't kill it. All right, here we are at the end of the fight phase. The Genestealers, Pure Strains, they did come in. They blew up this transport that was here, the Devilfish. A couple of Kroot broke their ankles getting out. I think one guy did. And then we piled into those guys to prevent him from just shooting me and then charging me. Kroot got way better in combat. These guys were able to pick off 3 of the Pure Strain Genestealers. And then, oddly enough, though, since they lost the one guy, He rolled a 6 on morale, and then 2 more guys ran away. So we're both tied at 7. However, he trumps me because he is OBSEC and I am not. So my gamut to get this objective has failed. Other than that, we are moving on to Tau shooting, bottom of 1.
Okay, so Tower coming out of the box pretty hard. So right here, we got Cold Star coming over here. Is going to blender these Genestealers, get them off my objective. The Crude are going to be very disappointed. They're not going to get to fight as much as they want to. Crude Hounds came in to hang out with their friends. Skyray jumped the walls, going to put some hurt on one of these two. Not going to kill it, but going to do some damage. This Skyray swinging up, getting it lots of target options, and just kind of threatening the middle. And then on this angle, we shifted way over. So Devilfish moved, takes the objective. Long Strike comes over the wall, gives him lots of visibility. He can see functionally half the board from this angle. Controls this objective, and moderates this middle space where you've got to move into here to get over here, so you're never going to move here, essentially. Still bodyguarded. We've got this back edge completely zoned out on his 8-inch deep strike, so we had to get a little tighter in here, but we've got 8-inch circles. Marker drones are in position to support here. Then lastly, we've got the Crisis team that's going to threaten here, and we have our stealth teams on the midpoints of each board edge to do our interesting Tau secondary. So that's all the movement, and probably the implied shooting. We'll come back and see how it goes.
Okay, here we are after the Tau shooting. So originally we had a Goliath Rock Grinder here. Over here we had a truck. Over there we had the Ridge Runner. As you can tell, there's a lot of things that are missing. We also had a unit of Genestealers here. So this Tau commander, he came up, eliminated these Genestealers. Then this Skyray and his buddy Skyray, they were able to, had 2 Acolytes on the truck that was here, and so it died. We had 2 Acolytes on the truck here, and Longstrike did his big boomstick and blew that truck up. 1 shot, 1 kill. And then over there, we had the Ridge Runner and the Crisis team, and then finishing it off with the Devilfish and a little other SMS shooting, was able to blow up that Ridge Runner, and then we killed 5 of 8 of these Aberrants. And so the strategy here was there's 10 Crute that's in this objective. So Colin's going to try and take this objective from me. He knows these guys are probably going to kill this. So he charged in. I'm going to swing, try and blow this thing up. Now, Crute are going to fall out, and he's going to try and line them to prevent me from getting around to get to Long Strike for 1 more turn. So here we are going into the assault phase. We're going to resolve this assault, and then we'll come back at the top of Genestealer Cult, turn 2. So at the end of turn 1 assault phase, kind of what we said going to happen. These guys went in and blew up this Devilfish. The Crute filed out. He did lose 3 to morale. Did you roll the morale check to see if any more guys run? We're going to do that live. No, they're good to go. So at the end of this, now in this particular mission, Colin did not hold this objective. He took this objective and he killed a unit that was on this objective. So he's going to score 3 for the mission. And then over there, we forgot to score up the Genestealers, went in and took that objective they did not hold. So right now we're looking at 2 for primary, 2 for bring it down. Colin's got 3 for primary and 2 for engage. Moving on to the next turn. I'm sitting on 1 objective, so I'm going to get 4 points for that. And here we go. Moving into Genestealer Cult, command phase. Okay, here we are. We've moved the Genestealer Cult. We kind of go all in. We added it up, and I think Colin killed about 500 points of my army. Turn 1, he lost a couple Devilfish, so it's about 250 on his side. We're going to try and see if we can't swing things my way. He's got this objective kind of locked down fairly well, but I've set up the Metamorphs to come in here so that they're going to get within rerolls of the Primus. And then I was not able to get these guys back in here with the +1 to charge. So they're just at an 8, but they got the 3d6, take the highest ability. I brought the Kellermorph in here. I'm going to try and take down this commander if possible. His mobility is just a huge threat to the army. Patriarch, he came out of the box, advanced, auto-advanced up here. He's going to try and do some work on this Skyray. The Aberrants and the Abominant have moved up. They're going to try to get to long strike, but in order to do that, I'm going to have to go through those guys. So I'm going to try and use this truck and use the heavy seismic cannon. I'm going to use the Sanctus to put a crossfire token on those guys. And then we're going to do some shooting. I'm exposed back here on this objective. Colin's got these piranha that are going to come in from reserve. Nothing I can do about that. I did spend a command point to put this unit back in reserve since I came on here to retrieve Nachman data. And I came on here. I'm going to flame these little guys and try and take this objective back from him to see if I can't get some mission primary points. So going into Psychic Phase, and then we're going to go straight into shooting. Okay, here we are. We're done with the Psychic Phase. We were able to cast Might from Beyond from this guy. We did a Psychic Interrogation of this commander over here, and so that gave me 3 points. These guys arrived, like we said. Kellermorph, he came up here. He shot the commander. We did some lookout sir to the drones, and then the commander failed 1 save. And so he's got 3 wounds that he's taken, but he's still got 4 wounds left. Didn't do what we were hoping there. Standing by for this. These hand flamers, they all shot, killed 2 of the Kroot hounds. We rolled a little low, but that's okay. This guy, he popped off at the Kroot, put a crossfire marker on those 7 Kroot that were there. And then between him rolling a 6, doing a mortal wound, and killing a guy, and then the truck was able to finish off that squad just exactly. So we're opened up here. We're going to try and run in and kill Long Strike. Unfortunately, I'm going to wind up abandoning this objective, but I think Long Strike needs to die to kind of push Colin back into the corner. We'll see what happens. I've got a long charge here. We measured it out. I need a 9 to hit the Kroot. I need an 8 to hit these guys. I'm rolling the 3d6, so it's kind of a big deal. I got some auras up, but I wasn't able to trigger the Nexus ability because these guys were not on the table during the command phase. So I don't quite have the supercharge up, but we'll see what happens. So we're going to roll this charge out, and then we'll come back after the fight phase. Okay, here we are. We're at the end of the fight phase. The Metamorphs, I rolled an 11 for this charge, so they came all the way over here and murdered both of these units, taking this objective. So I did kill a unit that was on an objective, and I took the objective from him, so that's going to be 3 points on primary that I'm going to get. Like we said, Kellermorph failed to do any damage there. Over here, this guy made his charge. That was a nice short charge. 1 swipe, killed the dog. The last dog ran to morale. Colin rolled a 6. Absolute Whiff City on this guy over here. So I had 8 attacks total, 1 here, 7 on this. I think between failed saves and everything, I did, 6 damage? 6 damage to Sky Ray. It's not even degraded. So that's going to be a problem. Warlord stand out here. And then over here, the Abominant and the Aberrants came in. And again, 1 hit with the Abominant, and then failed to wound because he rolled a 6 on his save. The Aberrants had come in. I had this guy back here just in case the Abominant had gotten lucky. I could still be holding this objective, but alas, these guys came in re-rolling all hits and wounding on 3s and did 1 wound, which he saved. So no damage. Now, an interesting little thing, Genestealer Cult have a stratagem that if you kill a unit and there's no enemy units within range, you can take that unit, bounce, and reserve. And we had 3 combats here. 1, 2, 3. And I was trying to decide which unit would be the best one. And I decided to go first here because the Kroot could have interrupted and potentially taken out a few of these guys in combat. But really, I wanted to use that stratagem on the Patriarch because he's got Assassinate and he's my Warlord. But alas, I didn't kill enough here, and so the Patriarch was left. This unit, who we activated first, I couldn't use the strat on. And then over there, again, Long Strike is alive, so I couldn't even bounce that unit in reserve. So just a timing thing. It was really cool, super fun. It's a dice game. So we're going to move on to the bottom of 2, and this is going to be Tau, bottom of 2.
Okay, so Tau movement, bottom 2. It's our kind of do or die turn, given how hard Price hit. So, Crisis Suits are up in this pocket really hard. They're going to try to engage with the truck that's right there, but they also have kind of some secondary options. We'll see. We've stayed in combat with Long Strike right here. We've brought these stealth suits up to take this objective, as well as the bodyguards, because Price's guns are functionally irrelevant right now. So the bodyguards are just suits that move fast now. We brought in piranhas back here. They're probably going to focus on killing that particular character and just being annoying for next turn. Turns out that bringing piranhas in when your opponent's kind of all over the board, really hard. They're really big, like physically on the board. So it's hard to fit them in pockets where normally it's like, oh yeah, I can get models in there. Not really. Other things, we brought this stealth team up to try to deal with these guys, and this Skyray over to target this objective. And then finally brought in these piranhas to ensure we deal with that squad back there. And then, oh yeah, the commander is the one who went real hard. He's all up in the middle. He's going to try to just be a whirling dervish of death, because he's got 18 burst cannon shots, a flamer that works in combat. He's going to try to kill like 6 things.
All right, here we are. We're at the bottom of 2. Tau have gone. Tau have struck hard at the Genestealer Cult. If you'll notice, I was sitting on this objective. I am still sitting on this objective. We're getting ready to go into the charge phase. Tau have just got done shooting. Over here, Long Strike shot into combat with a big railgun, hit the Abominant and exploded him, made him take 11 saves, or 11 feel no pains. He almost lived. Okay, he didn't almost live. He died like a chump. And then these guys came in from reserve. They took out the Sanctus. Combined shooting from this Skyray and this commander, and I think the suit team killed this truck that was here, this Goliath rock grinder. He fire and fade with the suit team, moved up onto this objective. He's securing his hold in the middle of the table. Over here, we got one Aberrant that's getting ready to swing on Long Strike. He's going to, swing hard for Old Glory. All these guys got murdered just by combined firepower. So right now, I've got in reserve over here, I've got one 5-man squad of dudes. I've got the 10-man Acolyte squad with 4 rock saws. And then I've got these characters on the table, and that's it. Meanwhile, he's firmly holding this backfield objective. Over here, he's sitting here. I don't know what I can do. Maybe I can come in and kill something. But it's looking pretty grim for the Genestealer Cult. We're probably going to call it after this turn, but we're going to roll some dice and hope you guys enjoy watching. Okay, here we are. We're at the top of 3. Let's check in on the scorecard over here. So sorry for the cheeky scorecard here, but I got 7 points on round 2. 2 more for Bring It Down. I got my first Retrieve Noctimus. Got my first Interrogate. Colin got 7 points also, but he got picked up 9 points for Assassinate, 2 more for Engage, and 6 for his Tau Specific. So at the top of my turn, we had 1. Again, we went over what units I had in reserve. We hung out here. We're going to put the Crossfire token on these guys. This guy, he moved up and started doing, so he's moved up. We're going to do a little bit of charging on this Crisis Suit team. Moved up into position to maybe pull off some smites. Patriarch stayed in combat there, trying to kill that Skyray. And then over there, the Aberrant's still in. I came in on this side. This is pretty much a lost cause, so I'm just trying to get all the points I can. I'm going to see if I can't pick this unit up. I walked on every models within an inch of the board edge. And then I mapped it out when I pile in. As long as I kill this squad, when I pile in and consolidate, I can steal this objective from Colin. It's kind of futile. Since this is top of 3, he's going to have 2 turns, and he's got the bottom of the turn, so he's going to max out primary, and I'm probably going to get tabled on the bottom of this turn, but hey, you got to fight for every point there is. So we're going to go in and do some psychics, do some shooting, just a little bit of shooting, and then we're going to go ahead and get to the fight phase. Here we are. We're at the end of Genestealer Cult, turn 3. So these guys walked on from the board edge. I was able to pick up one of these guys and wound the other one. I couldn't quite get everybody into combat, but I did pile in and take this objective from him. He is going to be able to shoot into combat, but that was better than me just standing out in the open. Over here, I charged him with the 2 characters. I denied his Overwatch with a Genestealer Cult stratagem that prevented him from setting to defend or doing Overwatch, because I had put a Crossfire token on there from the Nexus. But came in, killed one guy. Actually, I wounded one guy, and then when the Patriarch, he went all ham on that Sky Ray, blew it up, did 3 wounds over there, did a wound to the Patriarch, 2 wounds to this guy, 1 wound to this guy, and then finished off the Crisis suit that was here. No leadership problems because these guys are lead 9. The plan probably is going to be for him to shoot into combat, polish off these 3 characters. Over there, those 2 just kind of slapped at each other. Long Strike still in combat. I think he's going to try and shoot his big gun and see if he can pick up that last Aberrant. And then these guys are over here just kind of hiding. However, they are vulnerable to this and this. But it's the end of turn 3. This is the last turn for Mont Ka. And we'll see what happens. Talk to you guys on the next side. All right, here we are, bottom of Tau 3. Things kind of went the way we thought they were. He killed all these characters, killed this unit here. I was going to Insane Bravery this last guy, but the Sky Ray actually hit in combat, wounded in combat, and killed the last guy. Failed to save with the CP reroll. Over here, these guys shot into combat, just murdering people. The big gun, once again, giving himself a marker light ability, and then shooting into combat is just so good. Railgun, making things go away. Over here, these guys came in, did a couple of fusion guns to the face. So literally, we're going to pretty much call it here. We realized the only thing I could do is I scored this objective at the start of the phase. I'm going to move up here. I'm going to interrogate this guy. We rolled it. I rolled a 4, so I did the interrogation. That's the last points I'm going to get. It looks like Genestealer Cult are going to come in at 54, and then Tau are going to roll in at 88. So it's a super fun game. Learned a lot. This is first time playing Tau. It's the 3rd time playing with the Genestealer Cult Codex. Some takeaways. 9 characters is obviously way too much, but really this was about learning about what all of these different characters do, what all the different combinations are. We were playing competitively, but we weren't trying to be too competitive about it, if that makes sense. Colin, you got any thoughts? This is your first game with a Tau.
Piranha's ability probably doesn't work properly because you're just not going to be able to bring them in on the edges. They're too big, like physically too large. Pushing Long Strike up with bodyguards would be like, he's invincible! And then the Genestealer Cult player would be like, I'm going to punch him in the face. Probably not a great strategy, but that's okay. It kind of worked out. I really want to try a bunch of other things on the Tau book. It's my first game with the book, which is why you get all the like interesting like model decisions. But got to try out the broadsides, got to try out Vespid. So many interesting things. But yeah, overall, I'm really excited that my army gets to move again. I have missed for several years now my Tau feeling like a mobile shooting army rather than just like I sit in my deployment zone and I murder people. So I'm very excited that I have models on that corner of the board and that corner of the board and this corner of the board and this corner of the board. I like all of those things. That's really exciting to me. So
yeah, you weren't scared to take engage on all fronts. And you had the ability to get there and pull it off.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Tau secondary?
Tau secondary is really interesting because in almost every deployment you can get 2 of them very easily, and if you bring stealth suits, depending upon the opponent, you can get 3 very easily, right? Because if you're doing Dawn of War or Hammer and Anvil, you're here, you're on one side, and you're on the other end really easily. If you place your terrain so that you're protected for a turn, against shooting armies, it's really quality. Against fighty armies, it's much harder because you're kind of having to avoid them for longer, but it also scores at end of game in addition to the following command phase, and with the like Wall of Mirrors ability for stealth suits to walk off the board edge and then come back the following turn, you can bounce around to the edges as long as you've kind of controlled the edge of the table. Like if you're playing against a Marine player who's like taking Oath, or someone who's really focused on strangleholds, they're pushing really hard for the middle, which is a big thing in the new missions. You can kind of seed that and say, okay, yeah, that's what you're going to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk around these board edges that you aren't screening out because you don't have the units for it, because I'm pushing you to have to really focus on what you care about. And so I'm just going to bounce these stealth suits around and take the primary. So I think it's a really interesting primary. It's not an auto take. It's not an auto 15 like Purifying Ritual, but it's good. I think it's playable.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I loved it. It was a great game. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure, like, subscribe, click the link below. Stay plugged in to, Tabletop Life. We appreciate it. Take care, guys.